Yes.
Man, just give me like 10 seconds of what the Bop 5000 is, real quick.
It's a comprehensive strategic program to create an economic engine using home ownership, small business development, and the engagement of politics.
Woke up hungry, had to make a change. Rearrange the way I make my change. I'm just trying to stop the sliding over drugs and gangs. Old school, shy vet, remember, let me bang. So glad my parents rarely ever let me hang. I'm a state trade, shot Joe in the foot with a 30. After that, we kept seeing increases in the murder rate. Plus Planned Parenthood, help little mama terminate. All the guys serving in them gangways. Dick slide, everybody hit the gangways. Beat the case, but you still did 500 days. Sometimes it feels like we raps trapped up in a got the Pilgrim experiment from back in the days. Had a right reflex our hood in so many ways. You know the alpha male winning. Women only concerned with the pampering and primping. Then all our kids become aggressors or some victims. Black man went missing, they dying or in prison. What a difference in outcome just based on how you living. I think it's time to change the vision, yeah. About 5,000, that's the mission, yeah. United we stand, no division, yeah. 5,000 times 1 million, yeah. We can own the blocks and live in the do the about 5,000 is the cheat code. Me and Ro out in the trenches going beast mode. And no, we ain't sleeping, keep that heat close. Show you a path to a new life through the cheat code. Do the about 5,000 is the cheat code. Me and Ro out in these trenches going beast mode. And no, we ain't slipping, keep that heat close. Show you a path to a new life through the cheat code. Dope things, damn cribs, they go vacant. They so addicted they can't take it, haunted by temptation. They decided they gon' take it, bust the window, yeah they break it. Tear the walls, some copper take it. Owner find out and they hate it, hit with cold violation in a desperate situation. They just moved up out of state and ready to close the chapter, wait and close the deal. I got that cake and I just planned on me a vacation. Trying to change administration.
What's up? I'm Ro Davis. I have no voice left. I sound like this a lot. Today was an amazing day. I gave everything I had, and I wish you were here. That was the only thing that was missing. I want you to go out and purchase my new book. We have officially launched. I want to thank the team. I want to thank you, Bree, Dr. Shante, and all the people who made today possible. I feel really humbled by the support that I've gotten, the support that I received on Facebook, and the expected support from you out there, whoever is watching this, and you still ain't bought the book. I'm going to speak in expectancy, and I thank you regardless. Thank you.
All right. That was Mr. Roland Davis. What's going on, family? Once again, welcome to the weekly Project 5000, Bop Project 5000 weekly. Keep it in the family, flip that hood conversation, and open call to anyone and everyone who is interested in learning how to become not just a homeowner, not just an investor, but someone who is ready to take back the block and build posterity through real estate investment and ownership. I am Minister Tony Kadir Lyons. I am here with Minister Shante and also the mighty Mr. Roland Davis. And we are here every Tuesday night, just to give you a reminder, 7 p.m. Central Time until 8 p.m. Central Time. And we are here to give you the keys to understanding how to buy back the block, to give you the cheat codes and how to get to it expeditiously, and to answer any questions that you may have on how you can plug into these opportunities and become a part of the movement to buy back the block. Before I bring Mr. Roland Davis on so he can give his testimony and give us whatever keys he has for us tonight, I want to go over a couple of things. First, I want to thank everyone who came out to the last Flip That Hood crash course in real estate and understanding the cheat codes. It was a pleasure to see so many people out. I hope, like you and like me, myself, though I was a facilitator, I got an earful. I learned so much, and I was inspired by so many people who had attended and gave their testimonies on how BOP Project 5000 has assisted them in becoming homeowners and investors. I am electrified. I continue to be electrified, and we would like to electrify you by getting you in front of us on stage, and make sure that you earmark your calendars right now. Don't hesitate. Mark your calendar, because if you miss the last Flip That Hood crash course in buying back the block, you are okay, because you get to attend the next one, which is going to be on February 1st. The time and the location is to be announced, but you need to mark that day off right now, because you do not want to miss the next Flip That Hood crash course in buying back the block. It is a phenomenal engagement. You must attend, and you must start becoming active in buying back the block. I also want to remind you guys to join Flip That Hood Facebook group. Look for it on Facebook, join it, and then start to become keyed in and become abreast of the conversation. Because if you want to change your life, you have to change your conversation. And we have $1 million conversation for you for a little or nothing. All it costs you is your time on Tuesdays when we have these calls and when we have our special engagements. That's all it'll cost you to become not only a member of the New Life Movement, become a part of the BOP Project 5000 to buy back the block, but to become a part of the family, because we want to keep it in the family. Mr. Roland Davis, how are you this evening, sir? Yeah, think you're on
Can
mute.
you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir. What's going on?
Oh, I'm excellent. And as usual, you did an excellent job breaking that down, helping us connect to all of the places where we can touch down within this movement. I want to give it back to Dr. Shantae and Bree, Tony, the entire staff. There's really something magical happening here. And I couldn't be more excited to be a part of this. So for those people, you're new to our organization and this movement, we're definitely not new to the idea that we need to take the block. I think that we all agreed that we need to do it. The real question is, how do we do it? And so this movement has answered that question. When we talk about BOP, what is BOP? BOP is an acronym that stands for Building Our Posterity. This movement is built on the premise that the children are not our future, but rather we are our children's future. For the first time in our history as a community, we must be intentional about our moves in the world that is here, and more importantly, in the world that is emerging. There are a lot of different titles and names being thrown out, like the New Life Movement, the ministry, BOP Project 5000. So I want to give some clarity on those different components so that you can mentally begin to compartmentalize how all of this lines up, and more importantly, how these different pieces to our puzzle will empower you. Yes, we have a vision to create 5,000 safe, affordable homes using ex-offenders, at-risk youth, and veterans as a major part of our workforce. That is the Project 5000 part of our vision. It is called BOP Project 5000. So our vision overall is to use home ownership and small business development as a key cornerstone to developing underserved communities. And in the backdrop of all of that, another part of our entity that I'd like to introduce is our political alliance that we call Black Coffee. which is an alliance that we've created, because in order to take the block, we must have political power. And in order for us to have political power, when we're not the majority, is that we have to organize a voting block that we formulate amongst the people in the communities that we seek to serve, and the people who join and who are affiliated with our movement. Anybody that buys into our vision, it's imperative that you register to vote if you're not, but that you join our voting block, because that's going to give us the leverage, the protection, and all of the external resources that we need to be effective at this vision. See, a lot of people don't know it, but politics is a concentrated expression of economics. It's bigger than you just deciding that I want to vote. What we're seeking to do with our agenda is give you the agenda and give you a stake in that agenda and process. And then we want you to put your vote behind the entire thing, not just your vote, everybody's vote that is affiliated or that benefits from whatever blessing that you already are or that you'll become as a part of this movement. I want you to imagine what we could do if we were to create five, or when, not if. I'm going to say when, because we want to speak with authority. We're going to wield this business and this opportunity to existence. And you may be out there saying, well, how we going to do that? Because we said so. Because I said so. There's a power in what we believe and what we expect. And more importantly, there's a power in what we can collectively will. The key to this entire operation, there are people out there who will be a part of our movement who are investors. There'll be contractors. There'll be bankers. There'll be realtors. But you know who the most important person on that chessboard is? That future homeowner, that future investor. Because at the point where they're willing to commit to a 30-year mortgage, it's at that point that everything that we've done comes full circle. And so we must bring, if you're an investor or you function in any category, including the fact that you may just be a future homeowner or investor, we must invite other people who look like us to this call so that they can be a part of history in the making. Now, what does that future homeowner get for their service to the movement? They get what we call a BOP 5000 signature home. We call it a signature home because it has a common, unique, vainglorious signature. What is that signature? You're going to get all the bells and whistles, granite countertops, custom kitchen cabinets, beautiful flooring, hardwood, carpet, different flooring, but top end flooring. You're going to have newer, or if not new, furnaces, hot water tanks. You're going to have roofs that have been done recently. You're going to have updated bathrooms. You're going to get all the bells and whistles. But here's the best part. It's only going to cost you $1,000 down. That's cheaper than what you would spend if you were going to rent an apartment. So for $1,000 down, a 640 minimum credit score, and 2 years of verifiable employment, you get all of those things. And more importantly, what you get to do is to help us to put the neighbor back in the hood. The reason why we are not neighborly to each other, because we are in a financial desert. It's hard to smile when the bills are due. It's hard to love the people that we love in the way we want to love them when we can't afford to be a good father, or we can't afford to be a good brother. They loan us some money and we can't afford to pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the condition that we're in, not because we're bad people, but because when the money and the funds are low, as DMX said, the guns are blow. Now, they ain't always physically blowing. They're mentally blowing. And now it creates the level of confusion that leads to gunplay. People beginning to disassociate themselves from people they've known all of their lives. And for what? Because of the money. And because money is so scarce, it creates animosity. So when we say we want to give violence a job and put the neighbor back in the hood, that's a lot of power when you consider the key to violence. See, the system wants to get tougher on crime. We want to get tougher in the New Life movement on poverty.
Right.
Poverty is the mother of crime, not violence. Violence is secondary to the poverty, because when the funds are low, as we just said, what? The guns are low. So when we talk about putting the neighbor back in the hood, we're talking about the foundation of communities, sustainable ones. See, but when we gentrify our own communities, we don't have to displace our grandmothers or our brothers or the people because they can afford to stay, because we've helped them to either save their property, we keep it, their property in the family one way or the other. See, the people that we're competing with, they have to get their properties from a court action. All distressed properties, and you'll learn this when you take our crash course, Flip That Hood, which is the official blueprint of how we're going to take and develop you from wherever you are into a master developer. You're going to learn that all properties and all real estate comes from a distressed sale. So when people foreclose because they are the last hired and the first fired, and massive layoffs begin to negatively and significantly impact our community, but because we have made a commitment as a homeowner that we're going to buy, we're going to bop and shop, we're going to build our community or build our people and successfully buy our products and successfully help our people. When you buy a BOP home, you're not just buying a house where you're going to live. You're going to buy a house that's already created a life for so many people, because the life that you're looking to protect, which is your own, will be the vanguard that's going to give sustenance to people who are at the bottom of the totem pole in terms of financial freedom, in terms of opportunities. See, when the people who are creating the violence and the people who are disenfranchised within our community realize that there's real opportunity on the other end of someone like you, me, or others out there who will be undoubtedly a part of this movement, and they go up to a brother and stop a fight, or say to a cousin or somebody that they love that there's another way.
Right.
We really will have another way. See, then we can draw a line in the sand. You either with us or you're against us. And if you're against us, then go out there and get what the world got for you. But if you're with us, then we're going to lock arms, because within the New Life movement, we believe in an impenetrable sense of brotherhood and sisterhood. We believe that if there's going to be a change, it's going to be because we decide to make it. And we believe that there's nobody better than you and I to make a difference in our community. And so we're going to create an economic engine that's going to support your family's family. So I want to encourage you to check out the things that we're doing. Join our group, because within the group, and you're going in the membership, you'll be the first to get our hot exclusive deals. I'm not posting those deals on my page first anymore. I'm giving it to the family. We're going to keep it in the family first, and we're going to become a united body, and we're going to all eat. Because when we eat, the family eats. So I want you to join our group, take our course so that you can be certified to promote these opportunities. So when you're out there in the street and you're just driving around, you're doing more than just driving around. You're driving for dollars.
That's right.
Because when you see an abandoned property, or you bump into somebody that's in foreclosure, you won't be just saying, I'll pray for you. You're going to say, I got somebody I need you to meet. Or once you learn this program, you're going to say, I can help you, my brother. See, that's the neighborly thing to do. So until you can do that, you're going to be able to point them to a group of people who have solutions, not people that just regurgitating everything that Black America doesn't have. We're beyond that. We're going to the other side. And I'm not putting down any other ministry, but like most ministries who encourage and promote an idea that somehow when we die here, we're going to go to the promised land or the promised sky. I'm not here to bring you to the promised sky. I'm here to point you to the promised land right here on earth. See, I don't want to live in a heaven that I don't take a part in building. I want to come into a reality where my black hands and the black hands of my children and your children, we built it. I'm going to close you with this. There are many mansions in our Father's house. And I got the addresses. It's all these vacant buildings. So I want you and encourage you to share this video. But more importantly, I want you to take the first step and get involved. Thank you, my brother. Take it over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One more again, got to give it back to Brother Roland Davis. He has been doing this for 20-something years. He is not new to this game, and he is a wonderful, wonderful mentor that you need to tap into. Because look here, everybody who is looking to succeed in whatever field that you have endeavored in, you need a mentor. Anybody who tries to do this by themselves are going to have issues, problems, hurdles, and blockades that you did not have to have if you only humbled yourself and got yourself a mentor. I don't care if you're a professional basketball player, a professional football player, a pianist, a surgeon, all right? Everybody had to have tutoring, mentoring, tutelage so that they can get the game that they endeavored to succeed in. With success, it cannot be gained with a casual approach. You cannot take a casual approach to success. Success has to be engineered. And what we're doing right now with the New Life Movement and with BOP Project 5000, we are engineering our success. We are writing things down. We are dotting I's. We are crossing T's. We are working out formulas. We are experimenting because, again, we understand that we have to take the right type and the right amount of initiative to make this thing work. Another thing that we want to remind you is that don't do it by yourself. You have a family. You have a team that you can plug into right now. We want to encourage you not only to share this video, but to be a part of this weekly call every Tuesday at 7. This is unscripted. This is from our experience. This is from our education. This is from our desire to see a better day with our people in our community. And this is coming from a divine calling to be of service and to be of help. You hear me say over and over again that Mr. Roland Davis could have used this skill, used this information, used these tools, got his bag up, and he could be living in Costa Rica somewhere right now, Hawaii somewhere, pulling strings like Geppetto from that area, because you know in the day and time we live now, you can do a whole lot by remote. However, like him, and like the rest of us with Bob Project 5000 and New Life Movement, we have a divine calling to be of assistance and to be of service. Okay, this is why we have the ministries that are also a part of the New Life Movement. What I want to imbibe you with, what I want you to get across to you this evening, if you are on this call or if you're watching the recording, is that there is a place for you within Bob Project 5000 and within the New Life Movement. Whether you are someone looking to become a homeowner for the first time, whether you are someone who is looking to become an investor, whether you are someone who does taxes and you would like to offer your services, whether you are a real estate agent and you would like to assist us in getting these houses moved and sold, whether you are someone who knows how to fix credit, okay, whether you are someone who is looking to volunteer with an organization that is productive and progressive and doing things for the people in the community, there is a place for you here within this New Life Movement. Do not think for 1 second, for one iota, that you cannot plug in, because no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter your age, you have a place with the New Life Movement and Bob Project 5000, because we need you to make this work. All right. We're going on 7:30, family, and we're only in the middle of this call. I would like to again remind you guys that we have a lot of things going on to plug into with Bob Project 5000. Also, let me remind you of this. We have a radio show coming up called Keep It in the Family. You need to, that's going to be hot. That is going to be crucial. And it is going to be live. We will keep you abreast on when that radio show is going to start.
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. What you got?
A joint in my hand. But, hey, listen. Now, some of you, I got a couple of things I want to say. And I rolled this joint because I am going to smoke it in a minute. So I want you to understand. And I'm saying to y'all out there that there's nothing magical about us. We're just regular people that just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. So you don't have to be perfect. We looking for people that's real. And the reason why I'm rolling, I ain't just rolling and smoking joints. I'm smoking joints because we are a distributor of a marijuana company that's black owned, who we're going to be introducing on one of these calls. And we have our own distribution deal. So I'm not just smoking weed. I'm supporting our brand. And I want you to support our brand. This is a movement. And that movement is going to be transformative. But I want to say something, that show, and even before the show, but let's talk a little bit about the show since Tony brought it up. The show is going to be called Keep It in the Family. We're going to have a podcast where you can call in and ask Ro Davis, that's me, any real estate issue that you may be dealing with, I can help you to solve it. In that show, we're encouraging you to get people who are in trouble, people who need advice. See, we got to stop losing properties and putting those properties that our parents worked so hard and that we worked so hard, and letting those properties go back to the man to get back in the system. What if we had a way? See, because when you consider the fact that the majority of black wealth is in the equity in our homes, when somebody loses a house, that decimates the wealth of that family. And as we move into an era where affordable housing is going to get higher and higher and become less affordable, then what's going to happen is that when folks are not landlords or lording over land, as I like to say, they're going to become a permanent underclass. People who don't join this movement are at risk. They're at risk of either becoming a permanent underclass or having their family and the loved ones who choose to stay on the other side of the fence. If they don't own property, how will they own? Chicago is moving to a place where New York already is in LA. For the same properties we buying in Inglewood for pennies on the dollar, that stuff is going for $1 million or more, $10,000 a month. Who's got that kind of money? Just think about that in 5 to 10 years. And so our goal is to build generational wealth on the back of our pain and our suffering. The reason why we don't understand or see the value is because our vision is connected to our pain. Other people don't see our pain. They see cheap real estate. And so the cheat code, one of them, cheat code number 2, is that you got to flip your mindset so that you can see opportunities where others see breakdowns. What may be one man's jungle is another man's paradise. So we're going to use this show. I'm going to be your host. I'm going to be joined by Brother Toure Muhammad, Sister Africa Porter, people that you may be familiar with right here in Chicago. We're going to have a Breakfast Club format, and you'll be able to get all your questions answered. And we're going to do it every Sunday. And those questions are not just going to be, they can just stop at the question, or we'll be able to take action so that we can help those people who are suffering, who are silently suffering. There's so many people who need help in our community that's losing properties, and they don't even want nobody to know because they're embarrassed. Those people that make that foreclosure list, that people be spending all that money to buy, which I think is bullshit, but people spend all that money to buy names on the list because they don't want to communicate and talk to each other. Those are not random names on the list. That's your brother. That's your sister, your mother, your cousin, your auntie. Hell, some of you listening, that might be you. So we have a solution to help everybody. But you got to sign up. You got to call. So that's what the show is going to be about. I believe we got to keep black wealth where it belongs, in the family.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
That's absolutely correct.
Go ahead. You
Yes,
can take
sir. That's absolutely correct. And man, it is one thing that you guys have to understand, like Mr. Roland Davis just expressed. This is not like a ministry that you have happened upon before. And like he also said, I'm going to echo, this is not to throw stones or throw shade at any other type of ministry. But I want to make sure that I am clear, that we are clear, that this is a ministry that is based on a new life for people. Okay, a new way of looking at the everyday activities and engagements of our people so that we can analyze and that we can refine and that we can make better. This is not a religious movement, okay? This is not a politically aligned movement, though it is political. All things are political, whether you know that or realize that or not. But this is not a movement that is attached to any one particular political party, okay? This is not a ministry to go out and save a bunch of folk that don't want to be saved from themselves. This is a movement of self-improvement. This is a movement of self-enlightenment. This is a movement of collectivity in order to make heaven on earth a reality. That's what type of movement this is. And we want to build our posterity and our heaven now. I have no clue as to what happens after we lay this physical body down. And family, as a rational adult, nobody can tell you for sure what happens when you lay this body down. And if people attempt to tell you that they know for sure what happens after this body is laid down, cannot be trusted. I'm sorry, not sorry. This is the truth. Okay? And so while we are here, while we have breath of life, because we believe in a living God, right now, today, we have to take advantage of the breath of life that I speak of and make choices and changes now.
You know,
right
Tony,
now,
when you say that,
today.
brother, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
When you talk about the spirituality of the movement, one of the things that comes to mind is what our goal is. We believe in a concept that we defined, that we created. I call it spiritual hip hop. And
Absolutely.
that's truth without boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Until we have a constructive spiritual framework, we will never be able to accomplish anything as a people collectively.
Come on.
Because when you consider that God is the highest point of view in our philosophies, if you will, and how we see ourselves in our relationship with God determines how we gonna move in the world. So when you in this idea and you've connected to an external salvation and a liberation from your physical body, where you can actually get excited that you no longer exist, you have definitely positioned yourself such that you can lose value to what life is all about. And when Tony says that we need a new life movement, see, everything that you dying to get to heaven for, we can have right here on this earth.
That's right.
The people in the Bible were not running towards the promised sky. They were after the promised land. And those who don't own land in the future will be generationally poor. We're moving, Elon Musk, in the face of the robots that they're about to unleash and artificial intelligence, which is all of a sudden become essential to our lives. I know it's a part of mine already. And I remember at the beginning of 2024, I remember talking a little bit about artificial intelligence, but all of a sudden it's here, it's in your face, and it ain't going nowhere. And that's exactly what those robots gonna be. In your face, it ain't going nowhere. It's predicted that in the future, robots will be doing 80% of all the jobs that exist now. So all of these blue collar, middle class jobs, they're expected to disappear. You say, well, how are we going to survive if that happens? Well, Elon Musk, the one that's pushing this agenda hard, his vision is that they create a universal basic income. That's a code word for welfare. So a lot of people that's working today won't be. And if you don't own land, I don't know about what the universal basic income is going to be like in the future. But I know right now, if you on welfare, on Section 8 and in poverty, it's really hard to buy a house. What you think it's going to be when the prices shoot through the roof? FHA just increased what they call affordable. Now, if you go and get an FHA loan, you can buy a house up to over $500,000. Who you know that can afford that in terms of the average person?
Right.
See, what they're calling affordable is already out of reach for you. What is it going to be 5-10 years from now? It's going to be impossible. I'm not trying to speak doom. Consider this, as Brother Minister Farrakhan says, the final call. This is your final call to get into this real estate game, to own that business. See, when we look at the violence and the reason why our communities are where they are, there's only one solution. And that solution happens to be one of the things that you accept when you join this movement. The first thing that you agree to is that you're going to share this impenetrable sense of brotherhood and sisterhood that Brother Kadir and other people in the movement have already brought into. If you're not one of those brothers or one of those sisters, and that connection is not impenetrable, then that makes you or I the weakest link. And a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So our bond has to be impenetrable. But the second thing is that we see ourselves being the most accountable and best endowed to make the change that we seek. The change that we seek collectively will live when your vision for that business you're talking about created lives. When you're able to open up that non-for-profit that's going to address an underserved segment. See, the birth of the Christ, the birth of the Jesus, and the coming of the Lord is the coming of the collective consciousness of people in this hour who lock arms, who are kingdom-minded, who have a vision for a new reality. See, the revelation is that this house is on fire. And if you don't embark and partake and align with this Genesis that we talking about, this new beginning, this are going to you're going to lose the edge. And so in the Bible it says, let us make man. Let us. Who is the us? You and I. We got to breathe life into the dust of the earth. Those are the fallen soldiers, the brothers, the sisters. We got to give them a blueprint for a sustainable reality. So I want to join this movement. be a part of this historic effort because it's now or never, baby. This thing got to happen. It's now or never. It's at the same time as it was before. So my challenge to you is that you jump on board, not tomorrow, but you jump on board today. It's now or never. And I see the beautiful Dr. Sante, our vice president or president of Black Coffee Political Alliance, the COO of Flip That Hood, and one of the supreme ministers in the New Life movement and a founding member. Go ahead, sister.
Right on.
Hey, y'all. So, if a person wants to join, can you all tell everybody what to do? What are the steps?
Well, step one, you need to make a decision. And you make that decision you want to join, then you need to see where you want to fit in. You need to get in where you fit in. We have a vision to create 5,000 new safe, affordable homes using ex-offenders, at-risk youth, or veterans. I think everybody needs to decide on day one that they want to become a homeowner. You can't do a thing until you have a thing. And we want to give the gift of home ownership to each other. You may need a job. You need to see how you can be of service. Like President Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country? We served America long enough. Let's serve our interests. You need to visit our website at BOP Project 5000.org. You need to join our voting block, take the questionnaire so that we can see where you are and where we can best support your development. You need to register, sign up for the course so that you can participate in the generational wealth that we're going to create for our community collectively.
And I hear that you got some people that's ready to go from the course.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So these are people who came to the course. They had good credit already. And now we got about 10 contracts. And within the first 30 days, they on the fast track to ownership. So this is not something we talking about in the future. We talking about something that is and can happen now. But the one thing it can't do is happen without you. You must participate in your own rescue. If you can't afford the course, buy the book. Everything I teach in the course, I got in the book. It's just a little bit more exciting when you see it in person because you get to meet the team that's making it possible. You get to feel the testimonies and the people who are in the room. You get to see the success stories. So I encourage you. We're not talking about $1 million. The entire course is built around my experience. I show how I took $1,000 and built $1 million portfolio. If I can do it, I can teach you to do it. Right. So,
wow. Okay, so you said those people was credit worthy already at the course. So what if a person is a little self-conscious, or embarrassed about their credit? What would you say to them?
I say you can't be more embarrassed than I was with a 449 and a 499 middle score. But I took the time when I decided to work on my credit and took it from a 499 to over 700. And then I pivoted from there. But the beautiful thing that we offer in the course, because you certainly need credit and money. But what happens when you don't have good credit and you got no money? Well, some of the people in the course do, like those 10 people who are our next future developers. And you graduate when you flip your first house or connect and get your first property. And you graduate at that particular point. So the key to this thing are those 5,000 homeowners and investors. You get to make a commission for inviting people to the course. You get to get a commission for selling or helping somebody in your family get a new home. You get a commission for bringing a property that we decide to buy. So really, you get paid for helping others. And you ain't got to invest no bunch of money in that while you're fixing your credit in our program. And it only costs you $1,000 to do that. While you're doing that, you can start moneying up by being a referral partner. So it doesn't matter if you at the top and ready to sign your first contract, or you at the bottom and you're suffering under the weight of all the contracts that you have defaulted on. Whichever way it is, you can pull yourself up to by your bootstraps and you can enjoy in the success, because when we eat, the family eats.
All right, keep it in the family. Well, I definitely want to piggyback off of the things that you said about the voting block and Black Coffee Political Alliance. We'll have more segments on that for sure in our upcoming ministry calls, so that you all know what's going on politically. You know, one of the things in one of our crossover shows, and this was prior at the beginning or before the election, when Vice President Kamala Harris was proposing the $25,000 of down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and the tax credits that they would get, assistance with closing costs, all kinds of things. I mean, it was very exciting for us and what it is that we do, because I'm like, oh, wow, now the federal government is also going to step in and helping create new homeowners. But what I would say to people out there now, because, you know, we have a different administration coming in, what I would still say is, hey, still get your credit fixed, and we'll figure out, because there's so many creative financing strategies that Ro has within the book, within the course. Of course, the book is going to give you the blueprint, but it's much better to come to the course to learn and get things more in depth, you know, because it's one thing to read something out of a book, but to really connect the dots, you've got to come inside of the community so that you can hear these things that he spoke of earlier. But back to what I was saying about, you know, getting your credit together, we can still help people getting into homes, investments. We can still make this a reality for our communities, even though we have a different administration coming in this January. We can still do this. And it does start with building your credit, starting with that credit. We have good people in the network, maybe 2 or 3 different resources with credit repair, where they can, I've seen them work miracles where they've gotten inquiries gone in a matter of days, you know, in less than 6 months time. Me personally, when I first entered into my credit restoration, and I have been on this journey for years, going through a very lengthy and expensive divorce from a few years ago. So some things were a little more stubborn coming off of my credit, and my journey is a little bit different. But with these people that we got, when I got to them, this stuff was so fast. My scores jumped through the roof. My car had for so many years, it had something that needs to get fixed that I wasn't able to do. But because that credit was in place and popping, I was able to go get a new car. And that process was like 3 days. Click, click, click. I went and picked it up, signed on the line, and moved. And that's how you can move when you're credit worthy. So it just takes you making that step and making the investment in fixing your credit. And that's a lot of things in our community. We're not thinking about that. We feel like, well, when I get this ready, I'll get my credit together. Or when this happens, I'll go get my credit together. Or, you know, when I'll go get, no. Make that the priority, because that is going to set you free, especially when you learn some of the different things that we can help you do when you just got a decent credit score, you know, that we can work with. And we add more people to the network. So that call, that invitation that we have for everybody to other third-party sources who have expertise in these places. And I think you mentioned it too, Minister Tony, if they did tax preparation and anything like that.
Yeah.
Make sure that you all are joining us as well, because we're building and growing that network, which means it's going to grow your book of business too. So that's important for you to be a part of it as well. So we don't want just the people to join, but we want people to have levels of expertise of services and goods and things to do, because we're trying to keep all of that in the family. So if you join the family, then we're going to make sure that people come your way for the things that you're doing, because we can't do it all. For example, I'm someone that has products and services. There are other Black-owned product and service providers. Join the community, join the family, so that we can help in your book of business as well. So it's holistic in that way, so that's my 2 cents. We got like a couple minutes left. I'm gonna let the great Earl Davis finish out. He got something he got to add.
Yeah, you mentioned something. We're moving into tax season. And so I want you guys, we got a program that we're going to be launching called Flip That Tax Return. And we're going to show you how to flip that tax return into ownership. Instead of flipping that tax return and being broke in the next 4 months, we're going to teach you how to flip it into your first property. Right. Flip it into your next property. Exactly. Use that tax return and let it return you something, and let's tax somebody else to pay your lifestyle off. And with that, I want to say, so that we can bring that track in, because I think that this track really characterizes the essence of the movement. You could do this later. You can do it next week. But I'm going to tell you, the way I feel right now with this joint in my hand is that it's now or never. Or never. Hit it, baby.
All right.
Now or never, now or never.
Right.
Right now I'm smoking brushes, now or never.
Now or never.
Classic classes, this selection, now or never. PhD bars, been professor, now or never. I dove deep in my bag, I'm talking head first, now or never. About 5,000 is the answer, now or never. Monday night magic dances, now or never. Took the red pill and up my standard, now or never. I'm just building our posterity. 2 hands, little mama got dexterity. Za, give me clarity. Trying to build a foundation through these charities. I made money, my bitch, I told her marry me. Had to regrow my green, it looked like celery. I'm just flipping all these bricks without no felony. Joe is cooked up on this beat, and it's a recipe. I believe in myself, I invest in me. It's now or never, this my destiny. First person shooter, feel like destiny. Thermoscope, I aim steadily. Driving for dollars, I'm in Beverly. Made my own films, no academy. You my brothers and my sisters, we all family. Who tricked us into treating each other savagely? Now or never. It's now or never. Now or never. Right now I'm smoking brushes. Now or never. Classic classes, this selection. Now or never. PhD bars, been professor. Now or never. I dove deep in my bag, I'm talking head first. Now or never. About 5,000 is the answer. Now or never. Monday night magic dances. Now or never. Took the red pill and up my standard. Now or never. It's a rogue wave, I got you surfing. Been building this since 99, flicking and earthing.